The sun is setting in the land of the rising sun, and we are set for some drama. Now, I'm going to have to get something out of the way here, and Michael's one of them smirking at me because I got it all wrong, and he was kind of throughout that race going, hang on a minute. We talked of a 9-point gap between Fisichella and Ingram. I was completely out of whack. In my maths, I saw 284 and 283. Now that should be an 11-point gap, but even then, I was wrong. What's actually happened here, 284 Ingram, Fisichella 253, is a 31-point gap before the first race. A 17-point gain for Fisichella, first place fastest lap over Ingram in third place, has knocked that down to a 14-point gap. So it stands to reason that if Fisichella still wins this race, gets the fastest lap in, and Ingram doesn't finish second, that's Fisichella's championship. It is still bubbling up nicely. And apologies for the slight over-exaggeration. That is definitely my mistake there, Michael Swinnerton. Jet lag. We'll put it down to jet lag.
Absolutely. I mean, you say I picked it up. It was one of the minions that picked it up because my math skill isn't even that good to work that out in the first place. So there was that on me.
There wasn't the fact that you picked it up. It was the look on your face of like, hang on a minute, is that actually right? And you kind of went along with it. But I seemed to be in no doubt at the time, and no one else picked it up until we got to the watch again for the edit, and we were like, oh, never mind. We'll power through. Kobayashi is on pole. The locals are very happy about this, and the last race of not only this weekend but the tour altogether. Ingram's got some work to do, as has Fisichella, but the one you need to look out for is Webber, P8 race 1, P3 on the grid, and already ahead of the two privateer entries that we were so pleased to see at the start. Kobayashi, however, not happy with Webber. How dare you take my pole in a better car?
Yeah, one final send-off before he goes and races in the Japanese series. Other than that, all nicely clean through turn 1.
Thompson up to 4th, then Wittmann 5th. The two Fords there, Fisichella now up to 6th. There's the work in progress right there. Ingram and Ekstrom are falling back into the mid-pack. Oh boy, this could get spicy.
We know the Volvo is not good on the start. It does bog a little bit, it spins its wheels a little bit. They've both been working on getting better starts, but obviously with the rear-wheel drive cars around them, that was not going to happen, but they can get their way back through. Ingram already looking to go around Zhao Cheng, and about 3 other Fords as well, taking that wide line. Ekstrom takes the 3 wide.
That's your teammate.
There's an interesting idea. Zanardi now being opportunistic.
Well then.
That was 1 step forward, 2 steps back there for the two Volvos. Try again, lads.
If that is a 14-point gap, then Ingram in 11th, 5 points. Fisichella in 6th, 10 points. There's a 5-point gain for Fisichella already. 9 points more, methinks. So it's got to be a second place if Ingram's going to be static enough. Nope, here we go, P10 already. That's an extra point then, 6 points.
Ekstrom not quite going to follow his teammate through. Zanardi goes back in line. Zhao Cheng, that's a hook, line and sinker pass there. We know the Toyota has got one of the lowest top speeds out of the entire grid. We proved that when they were a works effort here. And Ekstrom pushing Zanardi past the Toyota. There's an interesting idea.
Ingram perhaps didn't expect that to happen. You spoke with Ingram between the races there. That was definitely a tyre management thing then for race 1. It's going to have to be a tyre management thing for race 2 if he's going to be faithful of Cobra Focus for the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being a bit more mindful of curb usage. We're later in the day now, so the track temperature is, well, it's actually about the same. There's a big slide from Salo, but given the cloud cover and the very late game rain we had for race 1, means track temperature is about the same, so the drivers actually know what to expect.
Definitely drive for the Japanese race too as well. Then it was just one of those things around Fuji. It has definitely happened before, where it's out of nowhere and then not around for very long.
Absolutely, and congratulations to Daniel Winterbottom and the Genesis team for wrapping up the drivers and the manufacturers title in the Japanese series. And
we saw how well they did last season.
Congratulations to Catherine Hill for taking the independent drivers title by finishing 3rd overall, which is going to be a bit of a warning bell to the rest of the manufacturer teams. If the Tamiya Privateer Civic can do that well, we'll have to see what Kobayashi does with it next year.
And if that's Fisichella in 6th, that is now a 4-point gap.
Everyone kind of spread out now a little bit. We'll see how brave people are feeling on the brakes as we see Thompson and Kobayashi going side by side at turn 1. Thompson taking it off the Privateer sister Honda. Kobayashi down another spot after starting on pole. I think he was hoping to do his pole position, race 2 pole position magic trick that he did once at Interlagos a couple of seasons ago, where he actually managed to win.
And whilst Alpha gain a position, Ford gain a position of Fisichella, Wittmann's teammate. And, well, it happened earlier, maybe it'll happen to the hairpin here with Palou. Now definitely ahead of Fisichella, down to 7th.
Yeah, we've always said these Alphas struggle a little bit in traffic, and the Fords are going to capitalise on that. As said last race, they don't care about the championship. They've got their own battle to do. They want to have a good result to round out the season. Fisichella has a look around the outside at the chicane. That might not do you any wonders. Slips back into line for now, but Salo is there and he's looking a bit aggressive.
Another swing. Well, it was a swing in Ingram's favour, but Ekstrom now back ahead of Ingram there. Knowing there's a 14-point gap at the start and only a 4-point gain now, Ingram might be behaving a bit more comfortably.
I was going to say, I wonder if Ingram's being a bit more conservative and letting his teammate go in front with the aim of trying to work together to do some NASCAR-style bump drafting down this start-finish straight to get him past all these other cars. Or just hang out at the back end of the top 10, because as of right now, he's got it sewn up. As we see Palou now trying to get past Kobayashi, so Kobayashi in danger of losing another spot into turn 1.
Fisichella with the gain.
Civic's not that nice on its brakes. Is Fisichella going to follow him through?
An advantage to gain right there, but on the wrong side of the track.
But still manages to make it done. Keeps the momentum up. I think Kobayashi took too much inside curb and that upset the balance of the car, so Kobayashi now falling down the order like a stone through a wet paper bag. Because he's got Salo now on his outside. Salo's going to try and do the momentum trick. I think that's going to be a done and dusted deal now. Yeah, there we go. Slots into line. And now it's Ekstrom's turn to go around the Honda.
Another Ford ahead for Fisichella to deal with. Lights ablaze again.
Through the chicane. The two Renaults there, not last, but not in the points. So they've definitely had it for the day. Sad to see. Hopefully they can, as said, do less of a bottle next year and actually take the fight all the way to the end of the season.
One of Moreno's best drives, one of Thompson's best drives this season.
Yeah, with fastest lap currently. And he improved again, but everybody else decided to nick it off him there.
The other single race winner, Palou, with the fastest lap then. Thompson has won this season. Honda have done better. They haven't exactly done worse, but last in the points, last in the manufacturers. It's a kind of doesn't really say it all. They've not exactly underperformed, but it's just the fact that it's been consistently low performance all season long.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with Honda. It's just everybody's managed to catch up on what little gains they've made bringing that new Civic, retiring the FK8 and bringing in the new FL5. Still a very, very good handling front-wheel drive car, one of the best handling front-wheel drive cars that I've ever driven. But evidently, whatever they did in the off-season was not enough, and that big Honda-wide test at Suzuka that I talked about at the end of Brands Hatch evidently has yielded something, with Thompson currently in the podium and Kobayashi looking a little bit racy here, but again, probably not as much as they were hoping for, or they've got a lot of data ready for next season. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, here goes Kobayashi losing another spot. Ekstrom now up to 8th, and he'll probably pull away from the Honda down the start-finish straight.
All the while, Fisichella still 6th.
Yeah. Now, will Ingram squeak past the Honda as well? Or will Kobayashi be able to put up a bit of a defence here?
That's probably the latest apex I've ever seen from Panasonic hairpin.
It is a good one though. You can late apex it and get a lot of momentum down this start-finish straight, as long as there's no one to your inside holding you up. And here goes Ingram. Yep, that's Kobayashi's going to be powerless to stop that one. So Ingram now up to 9th. Kobayashi back to 10th, where he finished race 1 in the space of 6 laps. Kobayashi trying it again. Goes deep into the hairpin. Is Ingram going to get the crossover maybe, or is he going to be patient? I think he's going to be patient. This is the most conservative I think I've ever seen him drive.
Wrong side of Coca-Cola corner coming up. Okay, all right, maybe not. Ingram back ahead.
There we go.
Some dramatic moves. Halfway through almost. Decent haul of points for Kobayashi, then if a little bit late. Kobayashi currently 19th in the championship.
Yeah.
But some points to prove. Won't exactly push him up the standings. Kubica's the next one in, and it looks like it's about a 20-point gap to Kubica as well.
So he's not going to change anywhere in the standings, but it'd be nice to get some points. They had a bit of pace at the beginning of the season, and then they just had a huge mid-season slump where they were struggling to even be on the back of the trail, as it were, just sort of running around at the back by themselves, unable to keep up with anybody. So sure they'll be looking forward to the changes that are in store at that team.
2 rookies at the back of the pack getting track time. That's all you can expect. If they do any, if they get any points, that'll be major stories to tell.
Yeah,
from
next year
Team
will definitely
Tamiya
be a learning focused year for the 2 Tamiya cars, with Misha Katzberg and Ralph Bieler taking those seats next year. 2 very
Closer with the fastest lap
drivers.
Absolutely. That particular championship, first one, still full of rookie tin top drivers, even if the car was a mid-engine roadster.
Yeah, the championship is going to continue. It's just heading off to pastures new, tying its wagon to other championships. We might see it back, we might not, you never know.
All in shot there.
Fisichella on the back of this train. You can see the leader, he can see the cars he needs to pass if he wants to continue the streak of rear-wheel drive champions. There's a decent amount of talent in front of him, all of whom are race winners. 2 of whom are champions, previous champions.
More effort is needed, I think. This car has been and should be higher up.
Even if he doesn't manage, 6th is still a respectable finish. And Alfa once again doing well with both cars in the top 10. It's what we expect from them.
it'll no doubt seal the deal for the Manufacturers' Championship then. Alpha doing the business year in, year out as a team. Strong performances on both sides of the garage.
Yeah, when your lowest car numbers over the course of multiple seasons are 5 and 6, you know you're doing something right. Thompson having a little bit of a look at Marino there. Marino doing a good job holding his own in second place. Obviously, he proved his talent at Deep Forest Raceway a few weeks ago.
A reminder then, some people are thinking that's a complete rookie X on the back of that car. So for this championship, it just means rookie in the championship. There is track experience in the Brazilian driver's hands and feet. But surprising nonetheless that he's managed to reel off the sort of results that you'd see from the guys behind.
Yeah, they've definitely had, I mean, a breakout year is an understatement when it comes to those two iRacing sponsored Ford Focuses, with Zanardi now in 10th, so they've got 2 cars in the top 10. That's going to do wonders for their privateer championship effort.
And with Nicky Lammers in 13th, Nicky Lammers going to have a bit of a wake-up call if that Italian is going to outperform that Dutchman right there.
Yeah, then to add a little bit of salt to the wounds, obviously with Misha Katzberg coming in right for the Team Tamiya Honda, Nicky Lammers won't be the only Dutchman on the grid. Maybe he'll see that as a blessing, who knows.
Less pressure on him, less... And this Fisichella Alpha is not pushing any further forward with now 5 to go.
Yeah, we're getting into the closing stages of this race. If Fisichella's going to do something, he needs to do something sharpish. But as I said, it's not going to be an easy line of traffic to get past. Apart from anything else, Carlos Palou currently has the fastest lap of the race, so we know he's got some speed in that Ford, even if he is sandwiched between the two Alphas. He's definitely looking a little bit more aggressive on the back of Whitman's bumper there, rather than defensive against Fisichella behind him.
Still a 10th off the fastest lap from race 1.
So just Whitman having a look at Thompson. Can't quite get it done. Nobody else is quite close enough to really have a go at one another. Webber looks comfortable in the lead. Marino looks comfortable in second. Thompson now looks comfortable in third. Is Palou going to try anything late break maneuver here? No, not quite. They all close up in Constantina into the chicane. Fisichella needs to get a good exit here if he wants to try and do anything about this championship that he's got a finger. He's got a finger on that cup so far, but nothing more.
And it's the smallest one. Nothing with any grip to it. And a decent gap to Salo in 7th, Ekstrom 8th, Ingram still 9th. This title decider has fallen a little bit stagnant.
Yeah, Ingram is just doing all that he needs to do, which is just run his line, be careful, click off the laps, bring the car home. He's got the advantage and he can just use it now. I'm surprised we're not seeing a little bit more desperation out of Fisichella's driving, but maybe he's decided second is good enough. Or that maybe the car just isn't quite quick enough for him to want to do anything about it.
The 14-point gap at the start of this particular race, apologies once again, 14 points between Ingram ahead, Fisichella behind, is down to 11. It'll be down to 9 if Fisichella managed to pull a fastest lap out of the magician's hat. But then the higher up we go, the better is to be expected. And if anything, that should really be an aim for second place out of the Italian in the scarlet coloured Alpha. Marino still second then, Thompson still third, Wittmann still fourth then. holding on to their tyres perhaps for one solid push with just
There
over
goes
3.
Fisichella.
Fisichella, there we go.
Around
Okay.
Palou, there's one, but that's probably going to be too
It's
little too late at this point with the lack of laps remaining. Whitman should not give him any trouble, but they also might say, screw it. It's
given the
the
spread,
championship's a done deal, so go race instead.
given how close they are, the tyres, maybe they've held on to their tyres for as long as possible to put all the grip down as they cross the beam now for 3 to go. On board with Thompson then. Moreno not close enough to make a move, but the Ford's got some power. The BMW will be very good on its brakes, however.
Yeah, everyone just closes up a little bit. Whitman, I thought
okay.
there was a little nudge on the back of that Honda there. It jolted a little bit into the corner, so I think Whitman just forced the issue there. So move the Alfa Romeo into 3rd place. We'll see if she gets any further up the road. She can see 1st and 2nd right there. It'll be very, very tantalising for her. Again, like Webber, had a bit of a quiet year compared to what we're used to from the previous champion. And indeed the reigning champion with that car number 1 on the side. Is she going to rough up Marino in a similar fashion, or is she going to be a little bit more patient? Not that she can really afford to be patient, not that any of them can be afford to be patient at this point in the race. Fisichella now having a look on Thompson. Regardless of what happens at this battle, Thompson can hold his head high, bowing out of this championship and the Honda works seat with one final good run before he goes and races an E30 M3 BMW in a classic touring car championship, of which I will be taking part as well, so I'll be sharing track with him.
First time in a while.
Yeah, I like to keep your hand in here and there.
Fisichella has managed to get the fastest lap, so that's 2 more points. Needs to be a bit more.
It's a gallant effort, even if it might be too little too late at this point. 2 to go.
And that's the 49.3 that was replicated, give or take the other fractions in the previous race. Then Wittmann with 2 to go then, all of the back of Carlos Marino. Be handled very well under pressure as Marino, but I think it's going to be a case of when, not if, purple sector for Wittmann. No, the Fisichella had a purple sector as well. We'll never know.
Sure, that HOD does not tell us. Yeah, Wittmann trying to make something of this last race of the season, knowing she's not in the title hunt. Still wants to make sure people know that she has got the speed, she has got the talent. That number 1 was there for good reason, even if it won't be on that car next year. Very close now at the back of Marino's Ford. Can't quite get it done here though. I think our next best bet is going into turn 1.
No doubt they will want that number 1. No doubt they want that number 1 back on the car for season 7. All the effort they've put into it.
Absolutely. As I said, the lowest they've ever been is cars 5 and 6, which speaks dividends to that team and how good they are and how good those cars are.
And with 1 to go then almost, we should be perhaps hyping up the Volvo effort a lot more, because they perhaps did not expect to get a driver's title so early in their project of Super Touring.
Yeah, this is only their 2nd year in the championship, and to already have sewn up the driver's title. Haven't quite got the manufacturers, so that can be the thing they go for next year. Just be working on making sure Ekstrom can. Oh, Whitman! There's the maneuver I thought I was going to see last lap. Wasting no time moving the Ford out the way.
Was that on?
He left half a gap, but that was a little bit desperate, if you ask me. I'm not sure Marino will be too happy about that. We'll have to see what their behaviour is like on the podium.
It is now a 7-point gain for Fisichella, and there are 2 places that he could still steal for that 14-point gap to come down to 0, and for his win count to be better than Ingram's. So, whilst it's on paper possible, that 3rd place is almost there.
It's almost there, but I don't think it's quite going to be there. We've seen Fisichella's car have a little bit of a slight oversteer issue in certain places, and I'm wondering if that's being the big hamstring for him not moving through this traffic as much as he would have wanted to do.
Ingram still in 9th place then, as we round out these last couple of meters then. These last couple of centimeters. Webber win number 3. Unless Wittmann's got some magic potion, the elixir that Renault should have had. Webber wins then, Wittmann with a fantastic, and steals the fastest lap on the final lap. That would perhaps rub salt into Fisichella's wound a little bit more. Ingram then, Season 5 World Super Touring Champion, and a very happy co-commentator alongside me. Congratulations, my good man.
Thank you very much. I trained him well. We'll have to. I'll go and have a word with him after we're done with the broadcast here and really get the celebration going.
And the less said about the Renault crossing the line in 19th, the better. And Rydell, oh my days, perhaps a wave to the crowd, being a figurehead for a Japanese run and a Japanese branded Japanese car as well. Some waves to the crowd as a final farewell to his driving career, but he's still going to be managing the team in some regard. We'll see him on the pit wall with the 2 rookies, and still, the anticlimax might have been caused by me getting my maths wrong and the jet lag that came with it. I will see myself out of the door in a few moments' time. Very good race nonetheless there, Sonny.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuji's always a mixed bag because it's a big track with a lot of runoff, so it's quite easy to get spread out. But if you've got 2 cars that are very similar pace, you end up having some very, very good races. Yeah, I mean, over the moon for Ingram, obviously. Very well done to Volvo, getting their first ever championship win in only their 2nd start. Very well played by Alfa Romeo. They held on as long as they could, and they put up one amazing fight for it. We'll have to see what happens next season and who gets the upper hand with off-season testing and what have you. And then, yeah, we'll have to see what happens with Kubica going to BMW, Schneider's new efforts in the US, what can happen with the 2 new Tamiya drivers. We've got a lot to look forward to next season.
And perhaps a slight alteration in some of the liveries. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, however. We shall see. So, to round out the titles then, let's do this the other way around. We'll do this with the independent drivers first. So that means Carlos Moreno with his strong finishes and a podium out to that. Very happy day for them. A very happy day from yesterday as well. Privateer Drivers Champion, and also Independence Teams Champion, even before we got to perhaps round 5 and 6 there. Manufacturers then, Alpha, by the time we got to round 7 and 8, even though they were, by the time round 7 came along, they were 4th in the standings, but that late campaign, we kind of almost knew then that something special is happening here, even if Renault decided to throw their ammunition out the window with all the effort they put into it. So it's 559 points for Alpha, 453 points for Renault, down to third. So 470 for Volvo, managing to get second place in the Manufacturers' Championship on the final weekend of the season. BMW down to fourth. We've seen them in perhaps a poorer position, but they'll be scratching their heads about that. Ford fifth then, and Honda sixth. That's all six of the manufacturers. As for the drivers then, Ingram on 306, Fisichella on 296. It got down to 10 points when it could easily have been 8. Wittmann managed to get, and perhaps with good reason as well, third place for her. Nico Wirtz, however, getting 4 race wins in outright, but only managing fourth in the Drivers' Championship, having led for many a weekend leading to Brands Hatch and then just losing almost the will to live, perhaps. Webber fifth, Henri Bianchi sixth. And that kind of replicates the Manufacturers' Championship as well, that the top 6 drivers are the top 3 manufacturers. It will all start again with testing. And do you reckon we've got a clean slate to work with, or do we know going into it who's going to be ahead of the curve by the time we get to race 1 for season 6, Swinny?
Ooh, there's a question. I would expect not a huge shake-up in speed. I would like to see Honda be a little bit more consistent. It'll be interesting to see if Volvo can get both their cars up to the sharp end of the grid, and I really, really, really hope that Renault can work out what on earth is going on and what happens when they hit the midpoint of the season. I seriously hope that Renault can work out whether it's like the setups are wrong for the tracks that are in the second half of that season, or what's going on. I really hope they fix it, because if they do, we could have a very even tighter title fight than we had this season. But I would also expect to see BM and Alpha still at the sharp end of things, as well as Cobra and DHL being the leaders in the privateer category.
We shall have to wait and see. And we're looking forward to seeing that with you once again, and we'll decide what else we're going to be able to cover on this channel in future too. So until Media Day for Season 6, Adrian Michael Rees on behalf of Michael Swinnerton, good championship everyone. See you soon.